In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, to whom we all have to turn back. Honorable listeners and respectable audience, you know that we have started a series of linguistics. In linguistics, we have commenced the chapter, and it is about the syntax. And syntax, I discussed different topics in detail. In these days, I shared so many topics about noun phrase, adverbial phrase, adjective phrase, and prepositional phrase. That syntactically, these phrases have their own heads. Listeners and audience, today the topic which I'm going to tell you and talk about, that is about a verb phrase, which also includes in the previous major topics, that a verb phrase can contain its own head. As we say that the noun phrase has its own head, the adjective phrase has its own head, the prepositional phrase has its own head, the adverbial phrase has its own head. Similarly, a verb phrase can contain its own head. We will discuss it in detail. Be with me and listen to this lecture from beginning until end. Listeners and audience, before going to discuss it, first of all, you must know little bit information syntactically about verb. When we are talking about syntactically about verb, you must know that verb actually names either action or state of affairs or event. It means that when we are talking about a verb in a sentence, so either a verb would names a state of affairs or event or action. Generally, a sentence also contains action, event, or state of affairs. Same is the case. The function of a verb is to talk about or to represent either one of them or three of them. Okay, this is the first one. So the question arises that if a verb is talking about event, action, or a state of affair, then what about a noun? What about a noun phrase or just a noun? Listeners and audience, noun is a bit different because nouns name the participants in a sentence. And now the participants in a sentence, either a participant would be actor or the participant would be acted upon. This is very strange that you say that how a participant would be actor. Actually, literally, the actor means the subject. So participant would be the subject or the participant would be object. It means acted upon. So when we say the participant is actor, it means the participant is subject. And when we say the participant is acted upon, it means the participant is object. So it is the both are the part of the sentence. Now what are the morphological identities of a verb? How we will know a verb morphologically? So morphologically, there are two characteristics to identify and to know verb. The first one, let's talk about the shape of a verb. If you want to know about verb, know about the shape of a verb. What is the shape of a verb? The shape of a verb, we have, for example, speak. In present tense, the word speak, it takes S. When we are talking about in present tense, so it take S. You know, in present tense, a verb take S or is. If we have, for example, third person singular, he, she, it, third person singular, so then it takes S. On the other hand, if we have third person plural, like they and yes, they is third person plural, so then it does not take S. So here speak is a bit changed morphological structure. This is one. Another thing is that verb also change its shape in different ways. In present continuous tense, in past continuous tense, in present perfect continuous tense, future continuous tense, it takes ing form. This is another identity. Same is the case when we are talking about the past tense, completely verb change its shape. For example, we have speak is a first form, but when we are talking about in the past tense, so it the second form of the first form of the speak, that is spoke. He spoke. So that's why this is the one of the characteristic that is morphological structure of the verb to know about verb. Okay. Another interesting identity about the verb is this, that a verb shows agreement with subject. What does it mean? It means that if you see a subject in present tense, let me talk about. In present tense, if you're talking about a subject, if a subject is singular, then the verb take in present tense s or is. On the other hand, if a verb is, if a subject is plural, then it does not take s or is. For example, if I say I speak, okay, I speak, for example. So, or he speaks, because I is a bit changed. This is not third person singular. So if I say he speaks, so here you see it takes s. But if I say they speak, so then it does not take s. So this is another morphological characteristic. You know morphology? Morphology is the study of the structure of words, that how words are structured and how words are shaped and formed. So that's why this is another characteristic to identify a verb, that it agrees with its subject. Okay. Then we also have some another reasons. The verb phrase contains like auxiliary verb, which we also call auxiliary verb, which we also call helping verb. Yes, which we also call helping verb. Now the question is, what is auxiliary verb? Auxiliary verb is a verb which is used to help what? Which is used to help the main verb. So what are the main verbs, sorry. What are the auxiliary verbs? For example, we have can, we have could, we have been, we have was, etc. So, for example, if I say, I have been working. So you see here have been, that is auxiliary verb, or it is helping verb. We also have auxiliary verb like has been, have been, was, yes, and verb. We also have modal verb, can, could, should, would, might. All these are modal verbs. So it takes auxiliary verb and it also takes modal verb. This is another identity to know about the adverbial phrase, particularly, to know about the verb. So this is to know about verb, how to identify a verb syntactically or in a general way. Now, reason to identify verb phrase. How we would identify verb phrase? Previously or before this discussion, we talk about a verb phrase. We talk about that. What is verb? How to know verb? How to identify verb? What are the morphological characteristics of verb? Now we are talking about reasons to identify verb phrase. How we well know practically that in this sentence we have verb phrase. Generally, in every sentence there is a verb. So in every sentence there is a verb phrase. However, we are sharing some test with you which help you to identify verb phrase in a sentence. The past. Replacement test and moment test and deletion. It means that you can replace the verb phrase just by a single verb. And you can even delete the entire sentence and write just a one word to know about that it is a verb phrase. Even you can move a verb phrase from one place to another. Let me exemplify. For example, I will read the letter to him. I will read the letter to him. So in order to know about the verb phrase, so you have to underline it first. So here I am replacing, I know that this is verb phrase. So that's why I am replacing it just by a word, that is I did. I did the letter to him. It means I will read the letter to him. This is one explanation. Another, it means that will read is verb phrase because it can be replaced by a single word. Another example, I will read the letter to him, and I did. So now you may even delete the entire sentence, for example, or just the I will. Let me delete the entire sentence. I will read the letter to him. So if I say I did, it means I will read. So besides I, did shows that will read, that is what? That is a verb phrase. This is one identity. Okay. Another identity we are talking about, say, syntactically, that is idiomatic meaning. And this fact is very interesting in the past one. Okay, sorry for that. Okay. See, idiomatic meanings and verb. What does it show? It means that this is very important that in a verb phrase, the words are stick together. Same is the case of idiomatic meanings and verb. Like for example, there are a lot of idioms that in which the verb phrase and the words which are coming with the verb, they are stick together. For example, John kicked the bucket. Remember that. Keep on point in your mind. Here John, that is subject. Kick the bucket. Here it is verb phrase. Remember, here kick the bucket means it is idiomatic expression. So here kick the bucket means died or passed away. So we will not take that kick is verb and the bucket is it is object. It is wrong because it is idiomatic expressions. Here kick the bucket means died. So if we are talking about the syntactic structure of this, so generally we will take it. It is here is a NP and that it would be VP, verb phrase. It is not like we will take it like it is subject and that is verb and it is object. No, it's wrong. Here it is only what? It is verb phrase. John kicked the bucket means John passed away or John died. So as we are talking about John died and we are taking syntactic structure for or tree diagram structure for John died, same is the case would be kick the bucket. Hope that this concept is clear to you. This is another example. For example, if I say he threw up. So here he threw up, it is verb phrase and this word is what? It is stick to another word or this is also stick to that word. So when I say he threw up, it means that he vomited. He vomited. Okay. Now listeners and audience, remember, this is the last point about what? About to know about verb phrase. Verb phrase precedes the noun phrase. and follows the noun phrase. What does it mean? It means that there is subject before verb phrase. There is subject, and after verb phrase there is object. For example, Aslam yes, Aslam has written a letter. For example, Aslam is a noun phrase or a noun, and here a letter, that is object. Remember, it's not necessary that there must be object always after the verb phrase. No. However, in most cases, there must be what? There must be noun phrase or a single noun before what? At the beginning of a verb phrase. Yes, there is just only one case where there is not a need to put a noun phrase or a noun before verb, and that is imperative sentence. And that is, for example, when I say go, so it shows command. Go. It is a complete sentence even. It means you go. So there is you, but it is separate. It is hidden. So besides commandment sentence or imperative sentence, there must be a noun phrase in what? In a sentence. So that's why sometimes this is a kind of MCQs as well. Even a single verb can be a complete sentence. So listeners and audience, hope that this topic is clear to you. Thank you. But again, one point is left. Sorry for that. Aslam has written a letter. Here has written is a noun phrase. Let me draw this tree diagram of this sentence that you know that noun has its own head. I'm very sorry for that I did not remember it at the beginning. Aslam has written a letter. The tree diagram of this sentence would be like I'm talking about that a verb phrase can contain its own head. So we have sentence. In sentence we have NP and VP. In NP we have Aslam, that is N, and VP we have yes, we have auxiliary verb, which is also called helping verb, and written, that is main verb or V. And a letter, so we are taking NP, yes, and then NP we have article, and then we have N. So this shows that noun has a verb phrase has its own head, and that is written. Hope that this topic is clear to you. Thank you.